By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song. That they wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing the I am song in a strange land? If I forget the old Yasharal or Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I preferred not Yasharal, yet Jerusalem above my chief joy. Remember, O I am, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against a stone. Psalms chapter 137. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me in my seat, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yeah, oh yeah, all praises, all praises. Yes, we sit by, we right here in the land of our captivity and other lands that we are captive on, where the heathen have enacted their own laws and have they done their own thing. They say, oh, sing us a song of Zion. Sing us one of those deep spirituals about God and let us rejoice and make mirth. Yet we sat there, our ancestors sat there in chains, and they clapped their hands and they pat their feet and they mourned and they cried. And the ones that have taken them captive sit down with a smile on their face. We own that. Yes, even God, we say, happy is he that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. This is how the psalmist felt. You have done this to our little ones. You have done this to us, our women. Why should we feel sorry for you when calamity comes your way as you brought calamity ours? Why? We shall rejoice in our God. Yes, we will, because he has taken vengeance upon the captive of his people. Yes, we thank God for you and you. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're walking with Mr. Clay. I'm Mr. Clay. And also we thank God for those of you that have been with us since the beginning, and those of you that have been with us there's and here's about. And we thank God for those of you who are just viewing, as well as those of you who have just subscribed, and those of you who are thinking about subscribing. We thank God for you too, calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes, all praises to the Most High. We're in the Second Chronicles and chapter 15. Chapter 15, the Chronicles of Asa. Yes, we're in that. And we read in the last where God had really given them victory over their enemies. But here's a different twist. Let us read. And the spirit of the I Am came upon Azariah, the son of Oded. He went out to meet Asa, and said unto him, hear ye me, Asa, and all Judah and Benoni, or Benjamin, as you would call it in the English language. The I Am is with you. Yes, when the I Am is with you, he will send people to tell you. Some of them not even prophets. Some of them don't even know what the world they're talking about, but they just feel something. God's sending you some message there, boy, girl, young man, young lady, woman, man, whatever you want to call yourself. He's sending you a message, whether it's a message of you being blessing, or a message of position, or a message of woe. Yes. The I Am is with you, why ye be with him. Now there's a condition. He says, the I am is with you while ye be with him. And if ye seek him, he will be found of you. You talk about some Isas. God don't change. There's only one. Come on here. Only one God. But ye have forsaken him. He will forsake you. You think God's a big dummy? You're going to sit up here and do everything you want to do. You can go to church or go to your mosque or whatever, or go to your what's called your camp, and you go and talking and shucking and jiving and trying to pretend and seeking honor among men instead of seeking that honor which comes from God. And that is to do his commandments, statutes, ordinances, and laws. Yes. He will forsake you, he says in verse 3. Now for a long season Israel hath been without the true God. This is what the prophet is saying unto Asa, the prophet Azariah, son of Oded. You've been without him for a long time, Asa. The true God, and without a teaching priest. See, this was the duty of the priests. This is why they were scattered in all Israel, to teach. They were taught from children. This is what they were supposed to do. Not only minister to the Most High, but you minister to the Most High when you teach his people about him, so that they might turn around and praise and serve him according to as he has prescribed. Yes. Now, he says, and without law. You've been without teachers, you've been without priests, you've been without the children of Levi, and now here you are, you don't even have the law. You have nobody pricking your mind about the law. Thou shalt not have any gods before me, even Isis, or your Yahusha, or your whatever you want to call him. Yes, that's a God before him. There's only one. He has no son. He's a creator. There are no sons. This is a Greek thing. That's a Greek mess. Greek talk. Yes, as we would say back in the country. That's Greek talk. We're not talking Greek talk. We're talking God talk. Only one. Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God, he is one God. Yes, he is. And that's the way it goes. You can add what you want to. You can put another book on 3, 5, 50 books on the Bible, but that's what it means. That's what it is. Period. I don't care how many prophets come in there. Oh, a son is born, a child is given. God's going to lay with his children and cause a son to be born. See, they set you up right back in the book of Job. That's where you got set up by the Greeks. In the book of Job, the sons of God came. But then all of a sudden there was the thing where God, the angels were with God, among God, even in the book of Jubilees. Or should I say Jasher. And God, they set him up. He talked about Abram. Even Abram when he sacrificed his son, Isaac. This was for, God had no intention of him ever deleting Isaac. But he wanted to see where his love stood. Now, from that standpoint, let's look. Love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. Love your neighbor as yourself. All of this is the summation of the whole law. If you know what the law says, if you don't know what the law says, you're going to come to your own summation. You're going to come to your own, whatever seems right in your own eyes. This is what you're going to do. But we need teachers. We need law. We need order. Not that any man should lord or own the flock of the Most High, but that he should teach. If he know anything. Most of them don't know nothing. When they try to deceive you, they're not teaching the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. It's trash. It's trash. These are examples of what God has done with those who forsake the law and those who would obey the law. This is the reason for the historical account of Israel. All the way from the book of Enoch all the way to where we are reading now, 2 Chronicles chapter 15. And we also are in verse 4. But when they in their trouble did turn to the I am God of Israel and sought him, he was found of them. In other words, God had mercy upon them because he saw they were in trouble and they knew that he existed. Oh, finally you know who I am, huh? Yeah, this is the way God looks at you. But yes, he has mercy. And in whose time there was no peace to him that went out, nor to him that came in, but great vexations, trouble, what vex means, trouble, were upon all the inhabitants of the country. And the nation was destroyed of nation, and the city of city, for God did trouble them or vex them with all adversity. So he's saying to him, be ye strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded. Your work shall be rewarded, King Asa. And when Asa heard these words and the prophecy of Oded, the prophet, yes, Oded, the prophet, he was the son of Azariah, he took courage. It's encouraging when God has given you a word for those. Now this, see, you find out these prophets here, they I don't know where these prophets come from. They might be products of the lying spirit to say, I will go up here and lie and spit in his mouth. See, this is why you must always practice those things that God tell you to do. His commandments, statutes, and ordinance. Not no no stuff like that. No. His word. Did he sit up there and do a dance and a frenzy and roll on the floor and spit out of his mouth to tell Asa, or should I say King Asa, all this stuff? No, he did not. He remembered what God said and said it verbatim. That's what he did. Did he have a big organ or a big orchestra before him? No, he did not. Although we should praise God with the organ, the music, any kind of music. Just give God the praise. Bongos, congos, whatever you have. Who cares what the rest of them thinks? You better praise him. That's what you better do. And get that old effeminate guy sitting up there playing and with his nails all done and all this other stuff, smiling and sister so and so, sister. This is why men don't even want to go to these places. They try to control your family. That's why they won't even get married to a church woman. They're trying to control her too. And if they can control your woman, they can control you. This is what they're doing. You don't get it. And then therefore a divorce ensues and the family is split. Because she gives more honor to her pastor than you, man. That's why you must say, woman, where's your husband? How's your husband? What's your husband doing? You always give honor to the man. Because a woman can walk out of her way, easily deceived in many ways. Not all. No, not all. If the shoe fits, wear it. And so men are easily lured. But let us continue. Verse 6, a nation will destroy a nation, and city of city, for God did trouble them or vex them with all adversity. In other words, God came down on you and you got yourself together. Now be strong, therefore, in verse 7 he speaks. Let not your hand be weak, for your work shall be rewarded. And Asa heard these words, and the prophecy of Oded, the prophet, he took courage and put away the abominable idols out of the land of Judah, and Benoni, or Benjamin, as they would put it. His name's not Benjamin, it's Benoni. His mama called him Benoni. And out of the cities which he had taken from Mount Ephraim, and renewed the altar of the I Am that was before the porch of the I Am. That's in front of the temple, right there in Jebus. Tell the lad, right there, in your face. God shows where the stuff was built. You talking, well, show me proof where all this stuff is. Right there. It's been hidden for a while. It's right there. Only reason you're blinded because God allowed you to be blinded. And he opened your mind and you get so stubborn, stay where you are. We're not adjuring you to come to the Most High. in his laws, commandments, statutes. You don't even need to come. If you're just here to criticize, if you're here to try to find fault, if you're here to even stand up for another god, even the Egyptians or whatever have you, they're not gods, they're devils. They're there to trip you up and bring you back into darkness. This is what it is. Now, he says now, he gathered all Judah and Benjamin, and the strangers with them out of Ephraim and Manasseh. In other words, strangers, those who would cleave to the children of Israel, those who want to be a part of them. Yes. And out of Simeon, for they fell to him out of Israel in abundance when they saw that the I Am was with him. It's something when people see God is with you. Now, I was reading a story I listened to a story on YouTube about Abraham Traore and how that the cow had saved his life. And I thought about it. I even sent a comment saying these things. The cow wouldn't move because they didn't know why the cow wouldn't move. The cow was calm and everything. The cow wouldn't move. And so my mind went back to when Balaam was told by Balak to curse the children of Israel. Now, this would have been a curse to him, which would have affected all of Africa. See, and now here the cow stands there. If the story is true or not, I don't know. But either way, the cow stood there in front of President Abraham Traore, his vehicle, and did not move. No matter what they did, the cow would not move. But the cow stood over a tripwire. Now, if a tire hit it, or should I say the armored vehicle, should I say, what they call it? The bomb or the landmine? Yes. A landmine would have either destroyed him and everything. But what that reminds me of when Balak asked Balaam to curse the children of Israel. And he was on his way, Balak was on his way, or Balaam was on his way to do such a thing. And the donkey, remember the donkey? Now this is testament to what God can do. It was God, it wasn't that cow that saved him. God used the cow to save President Abraham Traore. So whatever the United States, Europe, or whoever wants to try and do things, God got him. God just knows how to protect those he has a purpose for. Yes, he do. I say somebody in Burkina Faso was praying. Somebody is living right. Somebody is calling on the name of the Most High, even the I Am that I am. Whether you're doing it and you're sincere and you're doing your 5 salats a day or whatever, praying 3 times a day like Daniel, apparently you understand his laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. Yes. And God had blessed you and kept you. And then a leader that should stand up and have prayer before he talks before the Most High. Whew, God is good. That is a miracle in itself, that God showed that same scenario. And only those who know this book can even identify with what that storyteller was telling. Yes. But either way, they knew that God was with them. God is with Abraham Traore. I can say that for sure. And so they gathered themselves in verse 10 together at Jerusalem in the 3rd month and in the 15th year of the reign of Asa. And they offered unto the I Am the same time of the spoil which they had brought, 700 oxen, 7,000 sheep. Oh, that's too much. You can feed a whole... No. Give God his due. He'll multiply your sheep and oxen. You won't have so many sheep and oxen that'll come out your nose. You give God his due. And that's what they did. And they entered into a covenant to seek the Most High, to call upon his name, to inquire in his temple. Woo. They did this thing of their fathers, which their heart and with all their soul. This is what they're saying about the children of Judah and Benoni. And whosoever would not seek the I Am of the God of Israel would be put to death. This is what Israel needs. You need state. believe it or not, the U.S. is Christian. The rest of the world is either Christian, Islam, or some type of Buddhist paganism, or some type of paganism, or a derivative of Christianity, should I say denominations of Christianity, which is denominations of Catholicism. You can't fool me, Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal, whatever you are. If you come under that guise of Christianity and you follow those things in Christianity, you are a denomination. In other words, you have taken away from whatever Catholic Church, basically. But when you come under the whole, that is this law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances, then you are following God, period. I don't care what you call yourself. You can be white, black, Arab, whatever. When you come under this law and you follow it, I ain't talking about following nobody that's not teaching this. And God's not, look at Job. Job was not even Hebrew. Job was a Canaanite. But yet God honored him because he feared God. He had his bad points, but somewhere down the line, Job turned his whole self around. And he feared God, even to the point where even his thoughts he kept under control. And the thoughts of his children, hoping that they did not curse God in their hearts. Because they were pagan also. Now, you get to the point here, he says now, they would put them to death, state religion. All these states are state religions. They're a state, they're after some type of religion. Every state, the U.S., Russia, China, all of them are under state. They will tell you things. Christianity did do the things they did to, should I say, the Israelites. And also to, should I say, Mr. H, to the Ashkenazis. I think you get the picture there. That was Christianity. Because Mr. H was a Christian. He was Catholic. He saw something that many of us, we try to ignore and we turn our head the other way. But that doesn't justify what he did. But the fact is that every civilization in the world is under state religion. Whether they try to hide it, mask it, whatever they do, even if they tolerate other religions. Their main religion is whatever they were founded on. That's what it is. I don't care how you put it. When you say jihadists, these are Islamic jihadists, whether they're pretending or what. The main faction is they are under this thing. They pray 5 times a day, they do their thing, but yet they are jihadists. Christianity, yes, they go to their churches or mosques, not mosques, but churches, but in cathedrals and all this other stuff. That's what they are. Judaism, that is not nowhere connected into the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High. That is connected to denomination of this Bible that we read, or even the Torah that they wrote. God just used them to preserve stuff. That's all he had done with all of them. See, they don't understand. You thought you call yourself using us, but God used you until he begins to wake his people up. Yes, God got you there. Now, he says, now, with this here, you are forced. Not in all the world. They weren't trying to get the whole world. They were saying, in this land we call Israel, if you did not seek the Most High with all your heart, then you would be put to deletion. Period. And they swear unto the I am with a loud voice and with shouting, with trumpets and with cornets. And all Judah rejoiced at the oath, for they had sworn with all their heart and sought him with all their whole desire. And he was found of them, and the I am gave them rest. If a man's ways please God, even his enemies shall be at peace with him. Come on here. We got to put this thing right. See, this is what happened when the king is in line with God. He said, you ain't coming here with your mess. Get out. Get out with all this other stuff. I'm talking about everything down from A to Z that the law, commandments, statutes, and ordinances says don't do and that you shouldn't be. Get out. Or we will delete you. We will put you down because you will not turn our God against us. And he gave them rest because of that. Is God unfair that he did that? Oh, they'll stay there making everybody be, should I say, follow the way of Abraham and Moses. I ain't saying we're not following the way of no other denominations of religion. We follow what God prescribed for his people. And this is God's country that he has enacted this law. It's God's country, God's government. So God dictated what he should do. And God gave him rest. Regardless of who the naysayers was and all these other nasty, dirty, low-down folks all the way around. No matter what they could say, they couldn't come against God. He's too powerful. All he had to do was just think it and they were gone, period. But even his mercy for those who do not believe on him, still it keeps you here on earth that you might by some chance change your mind. But many don't. And you wind up in that place that Enoch saw. Yes, this is what happens. In verse 16, concerning Maachah, the mother of Asa the king, this is how much he loved God. See, now you got this Asa talking about he that loved his mother, sister, brother, more than me, not worthy of me. Yeah, I don't care. You ain't got to love no Jesus, no Yahushua, or no your whatever you want to call him. Off of who God is. No, he's not God. But this is what God said: if you don't love me, or mother, brother, sister, father, or whatever, kinfolk, king, or whatever you got, you're going to be thrown away. Now this is what the king did. He removed her from being queen because she had made an idol in a grove. In other words, you put something else above my God. This is not going to... And Asa cut down her idol. I don't care if it's your mama. I don't care if it's your daddy. If they're wrong, they're wrong. And you do the thing that God had told you to do. If it's in your house or on your land and they're doing something that's wrong by God, the pork and all these things, burn it. Get rid of it. Put it down. And he stamped it. I'm still in verse 16. And burnt it at the rock, at the brook Kidron. You know, where you do this again, don't do this. But the high places, this is where he made his mistake, were not taken out of Israel. And it was a place for them to come back. Nevertheless, the heart of Asa was complete in all his days. Perfect. Complete. In other words, he had a complete will toward doing that which is God, that God had says. And he brought into the house of God the things his father had dedicated. And that he himself had dedicated silver and gold. Now you see the stuff that his father before him had took out of the different, from tribes, their gold and their spoils. These were gold and silver. They didn't use gold for what they were using today or some of the things that were in the earth. But they used it because it was beautiful. It was soft. You could shine it up and it just glows. I mean, it was holy. Yes. That tells you something about God. He likes nice things. It's okay you wear a gold chain. It's okay you wear gold earrings or whatever. But don't forget God who made the gold. All right, here we go again. And he brought into the house the things, he says, silver and gold vessels. And there was no more war. This is when you turn around and say, for God I live and for God I die. When you turn from the beggarly ways of Christianity and these offshoot ways of Islam and all these other crazy things that are just only denominations, and keep the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High. And what happened? Asa, he brought into the house the things that his father had dedicated, silver and gold, and there was no more war. The AES, you might call him Allah or whatever you want to call him. But when you obey these statutes, commandments, and ordinances before the Most High, forbid all those things that God says don't do, to the point where people fear to turn away and see the prosperity. Even God is just giving you a glimpse of how he can prosper any people that will turn their heart to him. See, preachers don't teach you this. Most of the preachers I've seen when I was a young boy, I'd see these preachers go to Africa, and the African preachers were not preaching like that. And if you sit up in front of the audience, girl with no underwear on, and let me look at you, and all these things, or you can get this holy milk or whatever. They wasn't preaching like that until they heard the colonizer preachers, the black colonizer preachers, go to Africa and draw many because they were curious about God. This is what happened. And now the colonizer preachers are brought down by God, but yet you Christian preacher in Africa, you are being an abomination up to the Most High by your lying ways. Instead of going by the statutes, and Igbo, many of you, the word is Hebrew, have turned away from the Most High. You've gone other way. I don't know where you went. But his statutes, commandments, ordinances, and laws. This is where God wants you at. Guarantee you, once you do this, most of you are in Nigeria. You're there. You're around. A lot of you are in Nigeria. Many of you hear me even now. How I know. I tell you one thing. God will turn around even your leadership. He'll move it out the way quickly. Get rid of those dirty, nasty, low-down preachers and all those other people that try to mimic what they heard from the West in years gone past. Trying to sound all holy, and then you hear people talking about fire, fire, fire. No fire coming on you. Only fire that came down was when Enoch, not Enoch, but also, should I say, the prophet Elijah. He said when they came, and the king wanted them, and they came up to him and said, the kings have need of your presence. He said, if I be a man of God, let fire rain down upon you. And then finally they came crawling on their knees, please come with us. But anyway, there was no more war. And the 30th year, the reign of Asa, it doesn't matter how long your president has been president, that's nothing. But if he is doing good for the people, if the people are right with God, if the people are doing that right toward each other, and your crime is nil to none, then you know God is with you. Your enemies are scattered and they're at peace with you because they fear your God. This is a healthy society. I don't care. You don't have to live up to the standards of the West or any other peoples, but the standards that God had put before you. And guaranteed you will have more marriages and more babies and more soldiers and armies, that if that time God should come to test you, you will meet the enemies right at the border. And God will deliver them into your hand. I'm thinking today's stuff. You have your rockets or whatever you want to call it, and none of your men will lose their life. They can go back home to their wives and children. There won't be no widows. And your enemies will come one way and flee 1,000 ways. Because they will see the terror of the Most High. If a people or country or nation would ever turn to that way. And if we do that, we will have peace.
Walk with me.